Okay, so step one, first thing we want to do right out of the gates is navigate to this URL, which is pasted down below this video here. Navigate there in your browser. This is basically the download page for Android Studio. And again, Android Studio is the development environment or the piece of software that we use to build Android applications. We write code within it, we can build interfaces within it, and we can manage a whole variety of things related to our project setup. So the first thing we want to do is download the software and install it on your machine. I'm going to hit this big green button because I am working on a Mac, but there are other options for other systems down below. So navigate to this page, and this page might change. So it might not look like this at the time that you're actually viewing it on your machine. The important thing is that you're on the page that allows you to download Android Studio. So click the green button. It'll ask you to agree to some terms and conditions, and then kick off the download. It's going to conveniently redirect us to this other page, which is linked to also down below the video here. It's a second link. And this page gives you sort of a step-by-step instructions on what do you do now that you've downloaded Android Studio. And it looks like it's already finished. So I encourage you to just read through here, but it's basically directing you to make sure that you have installed certain versions of the Java runtime environment and the Java development kit. That's the JRE and JDK. At this moment in time, it's saying to download JDK 6 or higher. JDK 7 is required when developing for Android 5.0 and higher. I'd recommend getting 7, just because why not? You probably want to be developing for the newest versions of the Android operating system. And conveniently, it tells you, to check if you have the JDK installed and which version you have. Open up Terminal, which we're going to do right now, and type Java C-version. And I installed this a little bit earlier, and we can see here that I installed Java 1.7, i.e. 7. It's kind of misleading that they say 7 instead of 1.7, but they're talking about the decimal after the major point version here. You could also just say Java-version and get a little bit more information about your setup. If you don't have Java installed, it's easy. It won't print out a version number here like this. It'll actually tell you that you don't have it installed via something like command not found, or I don't understand what you're telling me to do when you type Java C. So check that out. If you've got 1.6 or 1.7 installed, you should be good. If you don't, you want to jump over here to this page, which is significantly less friendly on the eyes than the one that we're looking at right here. But this is basically the location where you can find builds of the JDK and JRE. Got a frog in my throat. Apologies for that. So what I recommend, and again, this may change. This will definitely change over time. So today, I will accept that agreement there, and I'm going to download a version of the Java SE Development Kit 7 for Mac OS X x64. There's only one option there. It's about 200 megabytes. You can download this, and installation is pretty simple. We'll talk about that in a sec. So those are the 2 downloads that you want to get onto your machine. 1 is the Android Studio software package, and 2 is the Java setup that you need in order to write Java code. Again, you can get these links, the 2 links down below, and the second one related to installation steps, we'll link you to the Java SE Development Kit 7 right here. So from there, you can pretty much follow these steps that we have here. You want to basically first install Java. It's a little misleading. So you've downloaded Java. You basically want to double click on the DMG file that's downloaded to your desktop and just follow the setup wizard. The installation takes, probably about 60 seconds. It's very straightforward. You just need to click next, 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 and then finish. And then I recommend, once that finishes, running this Java C-version again to double check that you actually have it installed and you've got the version that is the one that you were looking for. So once you've got that done, double-click on the Android Studio DMG that you downloaded and follow these steps. So basically double-click, there'll be a small setup wizard. You want to drag and drop Android Studio into your applications folder just like you would when you're installing any other application. There's nothing really special about it. It's the same as if you were to download the Chrome browser or something like that for your computer. Next thing you want to do is open up the Android Studio setup wizard. Open up Android Studio and follow the setup wizard. This again is pretty straightforward. It's basically going to ask you to click next, 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 and finish. And at that point in time, you're ready to roll. So I'm gonna pause there. Let us rely on this brief walkthrough, but let's rely on the documentation that's on the Android developer website for the definitive set of instructions, because Google and the Android teams actively evolve Android Studio, and therefore the development setup might change in the future. So definitely consider the steps outlined here as the definitive source of information for how to install Java, what the requirements are there, and how to install Android Studio and what the requirements are there. Cool. So with that, I'll leave you to it. Hopefully you won't hit any roadblocks. If you do hit some roadblocks, let me know. You can email me, email anybody at 1 Month, or post a question in the forums, which we're all here at 1 Month very active in. Cool. See you in a few minutes.